the history of House Hightower before House of the Dragon. What was House Hightower up to before the dance? The family is ancient, existing since the dawn of days when they were petty kings. While most scholars believe they descend from the first men, Maester Yandel actually believes they descend from the seafarers and the traders that settled at the top of the Western Sound in an earlier time, men who came to Westeros before the first men and seem to have founded the original incarnation of Old Town. Whatever the truth is, the Hightowers lived in the ancient Blackstone fortress of Battle Isle at the mouth of the Honeywine before the High Tower of Stone was built. The Hightowers built four wooden beacon towers atop the fortress. The legendary King Uther of the High Tower is said to have commissioned Bran the Builder, or his son Brandon, to design the fifth tower, one entirely built of stone. Uther's sons, King Urgan and Prince Paramore the Twisted, were integral in the foundation of the citadel. During these early days, Old Town was threatened and sacked many times, including by Ironborn raiders, Dornish men, and the armies of the Kings of the Reach. The kings of the High Tower raised strong walls and higher towers to keep any further invaders out. Old Town was not brought into the realm of the Gardeners by conquest, but by marriage, during the reigns of King Lyman Hightower and King Garland the Second Gardener. During the Gardener era, the coming of the Andals, the Hightowers, and the Gardeners allied with the newcomers. Thus, they were able to keep their wealth, lands, and privileges. Protected by the might of the Highgarden, the lords of Old Town turned their eyes to trade and commerce and grew with every generation to become one of the richest and most powerful noble families in Westeros. The Hightowers were also one of the first great lords to accept the faith of the Seven, and thus gave their patronage to the establishment of the office of the High Septon and the building of the Starry Sept as the center of the faith. Through the centuries of the Kingdom of the Reach, the Peaks and Osgraves boasted about marrying their daughters to Hightowers. During Aegon's conquest, Lord Manfred Hightower heeded the High Septon and did not join his lord, King Mern Gardner, on the march to the Field of Fire. Soon Mern was dead and Highgarden had surrendered, with the Tyrells replacing the Gardeners. When Aegon the Conqueror arrived at Old Town on Dragonback, Manfred opened his gates. Aegon spared the city, and the High Septon anointed him and acknowledged House Targaryen's right to rule the Seven Kingdoms. After the High Septon objected against the suggested match between Prince Maegor and Princess Rhaena Targaryen, he suggested instead his own niece as Maegor's bride, Cersei Hightower, the daughter of Lord Manfred. Cersei and Maegor were wed in 25 AC. Maegor took a second bride in 39 AC, claiming that Cersei was infertile. Lord Manfred objected to this second wedding. After Maegor had left Westeros in exile and Septon Myrmidon had failed to make Cersei fertile, Cersei returned to Hightower. In 41 AC, Lord Martin Hightower succeeded his father Manfred. In 43 AC, Martin's brother Sir Morgan was the sole warrior's son pardoned by Maegor, following the mysterious death of the High Septon and the yielding of Old Town by Martin to the Targaryens. That same year, Maegor and Cersei were reunited, and Cersei eventually returned to King's Landing with her husband, where she remained until her death 2 years later in 45 AC. In 47 AC, Princess Rhaela Targaryen, the younger daughter of the deceased Princess Aegon Targaryen and Queen Rhaena, she was sent to Old Town by King Maegor Targaryen to be raised as a septa. When her mother Rhaena fled from Maegor in the night the next year, Maegor sent a rider to Old Town commanding Lord Hightower to behead Rhaela as a punishment for her mother's betrayal. Lord Hightower refused, however, and imprisoned the messenger instead. He then declared his support for Prince Jace Targaryen. Eustace Hightower's ship was the only one of the three in Alice Westel's expedition of 56 AC across the Sunset Sea, and in 85 AC, the ruling Lord Hightower sent his men to search for the escaped Princess Sarah Targaryen. 4 years later, in 89 AC, the ruling Lord Hightower staged a tourney at Old Town in honor of King Jaehaerys the First Targaryen, who was visiting the city during one of his royal progresses. And everything after that we see in Dance of the Dragons. So there you have it. There's the history of House Hightower. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe.